And we're back. Are y'all excited?
We are, yes.
Wow. Yeah. We are
Takesha and Leo.
We are Takesha and Leo. Get excited about it. I am so happy that we're here today. Listen, y'all, we had to come back to have a conversation with y'all. We had to continue the conversation on cell phones. But it's going to be directly related to some additional information because it's time for back to school. Yeah. So, listen. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Capture Media. Yay. We are so excited to have them, and you too can help sponsor episodes of Parent Empowerment for Everyday Living because we are here to help you ensure the success of your children. Listen, we are here on behalf of Education Inside Out, where we are bridging the gap between home and school. We want to make sure that we are helping parents to build better relationships, establish consistency, and maintain control at home and at school. So that's why we're here, because we want to talk to you about all of those things. And of course, we have the wonderful Dr. Ada here, and she is going to bring to you the health and nutrition component, because everything we talk about, there is a health and nutrition aspect to it that's going to help you to help yourself as well as your children, because we believe that helping children, the way to help children is by helping who? Their parents, right? That's a really big deal. So, listen, y'all. Last time we talked about cell phone usage, right? And how it affects the structure of the body, how it affects socializing, yes, right? And how it affects education. What we see at school, what you see in the doctor's office. We are talking about all of those things. And then, as we were preparing for what we were going to talk about this week, some information came our way, one of our viewers. Now, first of all, let me tell you about this viewer first. Because first of all, this viewer was coming for us. They had a whole different aspect about what we were talking about. Listen, I'm going to share it with you. Why? Because it was a viewer's response. And this is just some perspectives of parents, right?
An observation. Yeah.
Right. So this particular viewer, parent, said, you know what? What if a child asks their parent for a cell phone? What is a parent to do? Also, what if that parent feels like they're not a good parent if they don't get their child a cell phone? Like this. Listen, when you have a 2-year-old, you do the best you can with what you got. And she can't even see what's on this thing, so don't even worry about it, because Dr. Ada is not about that life, just to know. But I just wanted to bring to you some information that we got from this viewer, and we're just really excited that people are sharing information with us. Now, we don't agree with that particular viewpoint. However, it's still a viewpoint, because Leo told us that his children got phones when they were 2 and 4.
Call me out.
But we that's a parents get that opportunity to do what they need to do, what they want to do in their households. I just have been of the belief that different things come from that. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Ada sees it in her office. We see it at school.
Most definitely.
So we have to share all the perspectives. And then we also have to share how it is that we are going to, or how parents might respond to the outcomes or the situations that they allow to happen in their households, right? Right. So, let me tell you, we saw some really, really ridiculous footage. Yeah. Ridiculous in that we found out that a child, how old was the child?
11.
An 11-year-old. If you have an 11-year-old, go check their phones now.
Right now.
Like right now, go get it.
The iPads too.
All of it.
I learned earlier this week. So parents stopped giving cell phones and now give kids iPads because now you can FaceTime and things like that. So kids maybe have computers right here where they can look up things, but they're kid iPads.
Okay.
Right? But you can still communicate with your kids through the iPads. So take their iPads too, please.
Yes, please, please, please. And we're going to tell you why. So this story, is about a kid who was contacting a school in an another state, or multiple other states, right?
Yeah.
And causing all kinds of havoc.
Yeah.
Schools were having to have people come in and check the schools. They were
calling bomb threats. He was
Thank
calling
you.
bomb threats to at least 20 times at this one specific school in Florida. And believe it or not, where is this kid from? He was from Virginia?
Virginia. He's in Virginia, wreaking havoc in Florida and in Mississippi, Alaska, and Alabama.
Yeah. And they think multiple other states.
Where is your child right now? Where's your child? What are they looking at? Because when we tell you more about what they found on this child's device or devices, you will probably, or at least you should be, as appalled as we are.
Yes.
Tell them one thing that you learned from that, from watching that video about the news report about that 11-year-old.
From watching the video, I thought about the manpower, the time, the energy, the resources, the money that people would have to go make sure it wasn't something that was really going to be a problem. I mean, to do it multiple times in different states, that's just unacceptable to me, because a cell phone and there's nobody looking over them, nobody checking them. So it just bothered me. It vexed my spirit, really.
Yeah, because nowhere in the report they talk about a parent.
Yeah.
So at the end, somebody said, well, where were the parents? Where were his guardians? But nowhere in the report was it that their parents were appalled, that they had checked. Nothing. 11 years old, wreaking havoc during the school day on his phone. Where was he?
Yeah.
Where were the adults in his life who should have been what? Checking that phone, right? Yeah. Y'all, this is a big deal. School starting. Okay? We're going to delve more into this story as well as another one. But school's starting. We talked about the idea that people may be getting cell phones instead of school supplies because they need to keep up with their kids, or according to our viewer, they needed to, or they wanted to be a good parent. Yeah. And that's why they were getting a cell phone for their child. Whatever your reason may be for getting a cell phone, if they have it, then what? They should what? Make sure they check it.
Yeah.
Make sure you check it. Even if you're not paying the bill, even if not, right?
Yeah.
Check it. It's your child.
And have a conversation before. Let the child know that I'm gonna be checking phone, know what's going on, and know how to search the phone and look through it, because there's certain things that they can hide that you can't see. So you have to do research yourself.
Oh, yes. There are things on those phones. Man, I wish Capture Media was here with us today, because the way to check your phone, there are so many different things to have to search. Golly, I found that out just searching Chromebooks at school.
Yeah.
These little things, your children, they know how to search stuff and then hide it. Yeah. And they know how to go back and get it.
Yes.
But guess what you can do? You can put parental controls on your child's phone. What can you put on their phones? Parental controls. Right? So, you're in charge. We build better relationships. You can have a relationship with them. You can have conversations with them. Yeah. Establish consistency. I'm checking that phone regularly or irregularly so that they never know when you're coming. Oh, by the way, hand me your phone. Yeah. Right? Yes. Just hand it to me, because I'm about to check it. And that's just what it is. Your phone is being, but why is mine? No, it's not. It's mine. it's mine. I pay for it. My name is on it.
Yeah.
All of those things. I am the boss of this phone.
Yeah.
Right? I allow you. You hand over authority to them when you give them this device, right? But guess what? It's your authority that you're giving them. So get it back, right? Because you are the parent. And that is just play your role, right? Your role is not only to feed them and put clothes on them, but to watch over them and to ensure their success. Really, that there's
that part.
Right.
To protect them.
Right.
Yeah.
Protect and provide. Now we know nobody got a manual. I didn't get a manual.
I didn't get one.
Yeah,
I need one.
Yeah, because yours should have at least been digital. She's only 2, so you should have at least had a digital manual, right? If they were handing out manuals, Dr. Ada should have got a digital one since we live in a digital world.
I got nothing.
Right. They don't even, there's no manual. We just have to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We're not here to come for you and to say that you're a bad parent. We really, really just simply want to empower you.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want your child winding up. This 11-year-old kid, y'all, I think I'm gonna put the link down in the description of that video.
Yeah.
So you,
I was gonna say, I wish there was a way that we can insert it because when you sent that to me this afternoon, I was in the middle of running errands before I came to the office, and I literally stopped everything I did because one, as a parent, it's like, oh my gosh, is this real?
Right.
Like this is happening? And how devastated I would have been if that was my child. Like I'm just trying to process
that
everything.
thought. I didn't even think about that. What if that was my child?
Because
how would I feel?
The first conversation is who's been watching over this kiddo? Right? What kind of living situation is he in? Why is he even thinking this way? But then sometimes you could be doing everything you think you're doing and something like this happens. And so as a parent, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is devastating.
Right. So I hope that encourages you to go get your child's cell phone. All right. And just even to pay attention. So we talk about cell phones, right? And we're still going to go more into this story because this story and the other one is really serious.
Yes.
But in addition, so when we talk about parents being actively involved in their children's lives,
what does that look like?
Exactly. What does your active involvement look like? Does that you walk in and you say, hey, your homework done? Did you have homework? Why is the TV on? The dishes done? Is that your active involvement? I would say it's not.
It's not enough.
It's not, especially not in the world that we live in today.
I agree.
Your kids, I was not one to have, my kids didn't have friends over regularly.
No.
It was so irregular. Man, my children would bounce off the walls if they could have a guest over to spend the night or to hang out. I was not that mom.
I wasn't raised that way.
You weren't either?
I wasn't raised that way.
No?
And we not, no.
Right.
Yeah.
So, now I have met some folks. They got people who come over all the time. The kids become family, all that kind of thing. Wonderful. But check your kids. See who they are friends with. That's another way you can be actively involved.
Good point.
Right? I've heard where parents say, I heard about this kid. Okay, what did you hear? What do you know about this kid? How far did your conversation go? Did you just hear your child pledge something positive or something not so positive? Did you go deeper? Did you ask more? Right? That's what we really need to impress upon them.
Yes, and I like what Dr. Ada said, was that what does it look like? Because let's just be honest and forthright. Family looks different now than it looked back in the day because latchkey children, single parent, how does co-parenting look? Grandmama, granddaddy, aunties, nieces, the foster system. So what does parenting and making sure that you're checking on your children, what does that look like? And having those conversations, because some children just go in their room, close the door, and you don't see them until they come out to get something to eat. So what does it look like? What's the format? What's the pattern? But what are those conversations looking like?
Yeah.
I love that because that blows me away. You go close your door and nobody comes to check on you
and lock it, and I don't see you. Yeah.
But it's a real thing, and
yes.
you got to think about it. My husband, he works overseas right now, so I'm basically single mom, right? And so baby girl's eating dinner, I had to order up the street and trying to coordinate everything. So I get it as a parent. When you get home, you're exhausted. You just want some me time, and I get it. I can't even imagine someone not needing that, but me time is important. However, as soon as that child came into your arms, you're now fully responsible for everything. And so yes, mommy, you need me time, but that child needs that supervision. They need that parent to be aware of what's going on, checking their backpack. And then also on the clinician side, I actually had to pull mom aside to talk to her about what I noticed in her kiddos. And hey mom, I'm concerned about XYZ. And so as a parent, if you're getting feedback from a healthcare professional, a teacher, a loved one, take heed. Please don't see it as an attack. 9 times out of 10, if someone is coming to you with information about your child, it's not that they're trying to tell you that your child is bad. It's giving you a heads up that there's something that could be happening and giving you time to remedy the situation. And I was practicing all morning how I'm going to deliver this information. And when I said, hey mom, can you send your kiddos out of the room? I need to talk to you for a second. And she was like, whoa. And when we discussed what was going on, she was like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we're gonna work on it. And now, it's a family, split in 2, unfortunately. So parents are no longer together. And so that's the whole co-parenting portion.
Yes.
And I had a similar conversation with dad the other day, right, who also comes in. So I had to address 2 parents, right, about the same situation. And so I just ask, from the clinician side, take heed, right? If a teacher is saying, hey, we're noticing these things, it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. The things that I see developing in children right now, especially when it comes to cell phones and the overstimulation, one of the things that concerns me the most is what happens to the brain when they're in front of a device. And we talked about this last time with the prefrontal cortex, but we didn't even talk about the addiction part, right? And how it creates a lot of what we call neural synapses or neural connections of information too early. So parents see this as, oh, my child can figure things out very quickly, but it may be developmentally too much for that child. And so now they're developing neural connections too early. And what that does is it stimulates dopamine, serotonin, and causes an addiction.
Teach. Wow.
Right? And so this is why kids are so attached to these devices, because it's already created brain connections too early for them. And now that's all they know. And so now, instead of getting that dopamine response from a hug and a kiss from a loved one, right, interactions with their friends, they're now getting it from a device. So of course they don't want to talk to you. They don't tell you nothing.
So that's why when it's not cut off. So when it's taken away, that's where you see with the withdrawals.
Oh, and then they
anger,
and
rage,
anger, because
it's an addiction.
Their addiction and their dopamine, their hormonal connection to the stimulation. That's where they're getting it from, right?
My.
Right? How many of you have ever dropped off your child at daycare and they're like, mommy? That same hormonal connection is what they're having from the device, right? So understand that, but also the good thing is you can break that. It's very difficult, and this goes to what Takesha was talking about earlier, taking your power back. I don't know if you guys saw earlier the little struggle we had. I had my cell phone. Baby girl wanted to watch my cell phone. I took her into the back room. Thankfully I didn't have to spank her, but I said, baby girl, mama got something to do. No cell phone right now. She cried. I told her to take 10 deep breaths. She said no. I said okay. Cried out, but we're gonna go back in here. I need you to sit down. It's gonna be okay. Food's coming. Being firm but loving, and she was like, okay. And now she's just sitting here chilling. It's not that easy all the time. Thank God it was this time, or else we wouldn't be able to have this conversation. But parents, take your power back and practice. Just try it. It's okay if your kids are mad at you.
Absolutely.
It is okay. I'd rather them be mad at you then being that 11-year-old child that's going to be tried as an adult for federal crimes, they're definitely going to prosecute this young guy.
He's being extradited.
Extradited.
From his home in Virginia. He's 11 and he's being extradited.
To Florida.
Felony.
For charges.
Yeah, they're definitely going to try him as an adult because I feel like they're going to uncover more things.
Yeah.
And we're going to be following this story because it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And for me, that was talk about a scare tactic. We shouldn't scare tactic people. Ugh. As a parent, that was a wake up call. That was a wake up call not only for my kiddo, but for the kiddos that I serve in the practice to be more bold when I do see things that are concerning, to speak up and say something because things don't just go away. They snowball and manifest into other things.
And that's what's going to happen even the more with him because the things that they've already discovered that this child was looking at, y'all, you got to go look at it. I really hate to even speak to some of the things because I don't want anybody to really have those connections from what we talk about. I don't want that to be your takeaway. I'm going to let you go and see that story. That kid is going to literally need an entire overhaul. Like if someone could go in and take out his current brain and clean it up and put it back in and reinsert it, that's literally what he needs. He has seen so much stuff
unseen
that no child, no adult, shucks, let alone an 11-year-old, no one should ever see the amount of things that this kid has already seen at the age of 11. He has made himself almost a sociopath. He has set, well, I say he has, but the lack of supervision is what set him up.
And the key thing is in the neurological world, especially for boys, and I need to find the scientific papers that speak to this, but boys already have a window between 8 and 11 where they have a lot of neural development, and it is very imperative that at that age, a lot of discipline, self-awareness, finding who they are as they mature in age happens at this age. And so the fact that this has happened at 11,
yes, that is really, really, it's awful. And listen, as we continue to press forward, I really want to present to you one other story. This other story that we came across is about a young adult. A young adult who was struggling. He was struggling. His parents were doing the work. He was wanting to commit. He had some mental health issues, and he wanted to take his own life. And if I read the story correctly, which I think I did, they went through the work. They did the work. They were actively engaged with the child, with their adult child, and they were taking them to get help.
He was getting counseling. He was getting therapy. Mom and dad was there. They knew about the mental illness. They knew all the struggles. Keep going.
Yeah, all of that. And so with that, they thought they were doing everything they could in their power. They were there. They forgot one thing, his device. You know, we are always concerned about what's happening with different people when they're looking on devices. We always, we don't really delve into it. We tell y'all to go check it because they might be saying the wrong thing. What was happening in another world? Oh, I was talking about kids, like kids who they're talking to, predators and such online. It wasn't even predators, y'all. This person went and found the recipes for how to take his own life. Successfully.
Step by step.
Right.
That was the key word, successfully.
Online.
Online. So they didn't even, and the dad, he felt so bad. He felt like he had failed his child because he missed that. Listen, I don't take anything away from him, right? They were doing the work. He and his wife, or he and the child's mom, they were doing the work to help their child. They knew about it. They were in it with them. But somebody else, somewhere else, they didn't check the phone. They didn't check the device. But now, he's an adult though, right? Am I checking? what was he, 18, 20?
He was 23, 24.
Something.
Yeah.
So he's still living in their house, right under there. So that's kind of rough. That's a hard place.
Yeah.
But I say to you, those of you who have children, I want you to make sure that you are actively monitoring what it is they are doing online.
Have to.
Because if you're not, and again, this is in addition to checking for friends,
Yeah.
to knowing where they are, where they're going.
Yes.
We talk about how cell phones can track. Okay, if you're going to track. If you're going to give them a phone, let the phone be useful. Let it be for what you need it to be for, not for them to go and disappear and get the world's information that's going to cause problems for you later.
And I have to say, parental controls, I feel like, are not enough. I think conversations need to be had with, what are you doing on that? What does that look like? Let me see.
Right.
And like she said, checking the phones, but I feel like just putting parental, restrictions on the phone or tablet or whatever is not enough.
It's at least a step one, though.
Step one, yes, do it. do it. But it's not enough. Talk to your kids.
That's imperative. That's that active parent engagement that we're going to continue to talk to you all about from now until forever, because we want you to make sure that you are building those relationships, establishing consistency, and maintaining control even when you're not present.
Yeah.
Now, do parental controls help? Yes. But have you talked to your child and consistently reminded them of your expectations so that they're not going to these spaces? These spaces are going to exist. Understand, they're not going away. They're not. They're there. The people who created them, they have their own issues that somebody didn't check on them for. So now they're there. They're creating these things. They're getting views. They're getting paid at the expense of your family.
Yeah.
Okay? So at this time, we want to thank you so much for being here with us on Parent Empowerment for Everyday Living. We have enjoyed sharing this information with you no matter how heavy it is.
Yeah.
But we don't want you to be sad. We don't want your child to have an outcome that would be quite displeasing to you or to your family. So if you will, please take heed of the information that we've shared with you today. You can go and find all of the information in the description for how to go and see these videos and these articles. And please share. We want them to share, don't we?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Please share the video. Please share it. We want other people to hear this information. You want other people to hear this information. Like it, subscribe, and you will always know when Parent Empowerment for Everyday Living is going to be right here for you so that you can build better relationships, establish consistency, and maintain control at home and at school. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you all again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.